Morning, Steve Free in Chicago with the morning grain comments. Well, there's certainly a lot of issues out there the market has to digest. First of all, today is the day in which the Fed comes out with their recommendations as far as interest rates are concerned. Inflation is high, especially on the food inflation. We've had seen some rest as far as energy prices, but most analysts do not think we've seen the highs of the crude oil yet. And so as far as expectations is 25 basis points, and then we'll go from there. We also note that the spread of COVID in China is beginning to raise concern about their economy and also their import demand. And that could offer some resistance to the bean market because some people are bringing their imports of soybeans to China below the USDA's 94 million metric tons. On the other side, right now, U.S. is cheaper to most origins versus Brazil. Brazil premiums continue to rally, and right now they're $1.25 over the price that Brazil premiums were last year at this time during the middle of harvest. We also saw that the NOPA February U.S. soybean crush was the second highest February crush on record, and the soybean oil stocks did increase. Over in the wheat and corn markets, wheat yesterday, U.S. Southern Plains weather maps pretty much took out the rainfall over the next 10 days for much of the Southern Plains. Today, they're wetter. The first storm is the next 48 hours, and it will probably be mostly like in Colorado and out in eastern Kansas with amounts maybe a tenth to maybe 3/4 of an inch. But the bigger event is starting early next week and suggests starting in the Texas Panhandle up into eastern Kansas could be somewhere between a half an inch and half rain. And this is weighing on the wheat market. I think our weather guy feels that the maps are too wet, especially in next week's event. But it is critical that if they get this much rain over the next 10 days, it could begin to change the pattern for the Southern Plains. We have to watch that pretty carefully. We also note that negotiation between ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine continues. There are some rumors floating around that there may be some kind of ceasefire next week. But Ukraine has to give up some territory, but in turn, the Russians would move their troops out. That also is providing some weakness in the corn and wheat market. There's been some premium in the corn and wheat market because of Ukraine couldn't ship corn exports and wheat exports. Russia couldn't ship wheat exports, and that there would be a delay in planting of the Ukraine spring crop. So this is pretty critical 10 days. Plus, the president of Ukraine will be speaking to U.S. Congress virtually tonight, and we'll see what he has to say about the situation. Other than that, we'll be watching export sales. End of the month, we get USDA's acreage and stocks report and watch kind of the money flow as we still can't push through some key resistance in soybeans, corn, and wheat. As always, these are my thoughts, not those of ADM Investor Services. Have a safe and profitable trading day. Remember, always treat people like you yourself would like to be treated. And remember today, ADMIS has a webcast with Dan Bossi, the head of Ag Resources, giving his outlook on agriculture.